Hey ladies and gentlemen, we are here with a product review, UYODM solar panel. This has a built-in 2200 milliamp hour battery within it, so I think that's stored right in here. And yeah, it has an 11.5-foot cable, and yeah, it's solar powered, so it's supposed to take the solar panel here and charge up the battery in the back here, and then charge with this micro USB cable whatever it's connected to. So right now I'm trying to use this to continuously charge my Simply Safe outdoor camera, and it says on the website here on Amazon that it's supposed to work compatibility wise with this. Now I've tried this for a week and a half. What it says, or what some people have commented on Amazon, is that it takes a little while for this very little panel to charge up the battery, and it takes a little while to charge it up, and then once it's fully charged, so the 2200 milliamp hour battery up, once it's fully charged, then it will use this to charge the camera. So I let this on the south facing side of our house, and I left it out there for roughly 2 weeks, and we get pretty decent sun and there's no shade really, and yeah, it still didn't charge at all. So I wanted to give it a check to see if it was working. I kept checking it, and then what I also did was it has a button here that specifies when it's on and when it's off, so I made sure to flick that on, and then I hooked it up to the battery directly, and this particular battery has charging notifications, so you can see that here, and when it does this, it actually only charges for a few seconds and then it turns off, so I can verify that it's really not charging. And then I've also tried doing this where I flip this off and try charging it that way, just to make sure maybe it was incorrect or something like that, but I can see here that it's still not charging. So I know for a fact that it's either a dead battery that they have installed here, so I've commissioned them to try to fix that issue by sending me another one. Now the issue here is that even if they send me another one, is it gonna last? That's one of the things that I'm a little bit worried about now, because the first one that they sent me is sort of DOA, and also trying to see if there's a good solution for this, because we have to go through a few different hoops to actually get this working properly. And just thinking about, okay, if I'm going through all this trouble, did it just make sense to install one that is connected, wire it, instead of actually doing a wireless one? And honestly, I think that almost makes more sense, just because you'll get continuous power, and for example, if you don't get enough sun or something like that, it'll keep the battery charged. But yeah, thus far, this particular product, not so great. Another thing to note, so it specifies on the back that to make the solar panel more waterproof, please install in according to number 1. So essentially you can see what that looks like here. So it says basically you want to install that panel like roughly in this angle. This is IP66 rated, so I guess in this angle there won't be anything that can get to this here, which I believe is fairly well insulated. But yeah, I think they want to keep water out of there, and then also they want to keep water out of this battery that they have here. Okay, so Amazon did send this over, and they sent it over pretty quick, which was nice. I talked to them on the Amazon chat thing. Make sure that this here is turned on, and then we'll plug this in to the Simply Safe cam, and that really should be it. We're going to test this out again, see if this works. This Makes me a little bit worried about the longevity of this particular solar panel and battery, meaning that if the battery goes dead, I'm assuming that this will no longer charge. So we'll see. I'll hook it back up and then we'll give you an update in about a week. Okay, so instead of actually keeping you inside, I thought I'd take you outside to see on the house what it looks like. So here you can see where the Simply Safe camera is. You can see the wiring in the back here, and I just hung it there and just wired it underneath here so you can see it. So in the back, here's the setup here. I have the cable tied up pretty neatly behind here, and this one's a south-facing roof, so it's just chilling right there. So the other one is on the west-facing side of the house, which is, if you can't get to the south-facing side, the west-facing side is the best. It's better not to be on the east side. So there you have it. That's the setup, and that's what we currently have there. So I've had this up for about 5.5 months now, so everything's actually been working perfectly. Basically, whenever the camera uses charge, it ends up charging it back up. So all of that has been great. The camera has stayed at 100% for the entirety of the 5 months. So this is kind of a good thing and kind of a bad thing in terms of being able to let it discharge and let it recharge. But yeah, I think for batteries being at 100% at all times isn't necessarily great for the health of the battery, but regardless, it has been running perfectly. So I bought both the solar panels for 46 bucks on Amazon. I'll leave an affiliate link in the description and you can see or order it yourself. But it's much cheaper than a lot of the competition, and it just does what I need it to do. It charges at a 2.5 watt rate, so it's not the fastest charging, but again, it's just charging your Simply Safe camera, so it's not using a ton of battery for that. I'm not entirely sure with other cameras that it'll be good with them. It says specifically that it works well with the Simply Safe camera, so that's what I was using it for. The plug specifically works well to make it pretty well sealed, so in general it works well with the Simply Safe camera, and I can say it works with that and not really anything else. Or you could also use an adapter, so that's something that you can use as well. With that said, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.